Go on then, Scott.
Okay, yeah, I've been muted for a while. If you were to hire a Flutter developer, would you ask questions about DS and algo as well? You know, I actually wanted this one. DS definitely. And if, for those who don't know, when you're looking at going through a coding interview, you can go through the dreaded data systems and algorithms questions. Algorithms, because, well, most of the stuff done by algorithms is handled either by the framework or by packages. But data systems, knowing what to choose when is still pretty important.
I just reminded me, I was once in an interview and they asked me to write a binary search tree algorithm, a binary tree, and then the binary search to work over the binary tree. And that was kind of interesting because it's something that I completely failed it, by the way. I failed it. It's a while ago, right? But I can't remember, I was probably like 17 or 19.
Traversing a BS tree. Traversing a graph is even more fun.
But the point I was making is I knew it all. This wasn't the issue. The issue was doing it in that kind of format. It didn't work for me.
Yeah.
Right. And it may not work for the people that you're interviewing, right? So, the idea of an interview is for you to understand them and to get out of it if they're right for your fit for your company and for your position that you're offering. So it doesn't matter.
Part of what I've learned. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, ask them about algorithms, ask them about data structures, but you're taking it with a pinch of salt. You're not taking what if they say, "Oh, I'm not too sure at the moment." If they literally came back to me and said, "I don't know off the top of my head, but I know it's to do with this," and I'll go look it up on Google or Wikipedia, I'll be like, "Fine."
And that's I think that's the thing, because I was just going to say, a lot of people will actually appreciate the answer. I know in general that a bubble search is terrible and that quick search is okay. And I can tell you the big O, I'm sorry, quick sort. I can tell you the big O of the various ones. But if you need me to actually write it, I need to look at some documentation, because I always do look at documentation. Right there, you've probably done better on that question than anybody else, and you never had to write a single line of code.
I think in terms of practical terms, in terms of practical stuff, you really need to sort of comprehend what the static data structure will be and what transformations can you apply to it. And if you start managing that, you start learning those things, those will apply to any language. I mean, I've done stuff in Lisp that I did in Perl, that I've done in Dart, because it's the same style of here's a data structure and what you can do to it, and here's the transformations you can apply to it.
I want to be sorry to step back. He's asking, if you were to hire someone, would you ask these questions, right? I mean, as a developer, I would definitely learn them. I would say, as a developer, I think everyone should implement Quicksort. Everyone should implement Bubble Sort. Everyone should try their hand at all of the different algorithms and try the different, understand what these things, try it out, because that is your learning. You need to know these things, right?
Yes.
But in your day-to-day, you're probably not going to be required to make one of those algorithms because they already exist in all the libraries. But you need to understand the aspects of those, of why you might choose one over another one. And if you don't know it at the time you're doing it, you're like, oh, was it Quicksort or Bubble Sort that was the better one? You can go read it, right? Like at the time you make the choice, but you need to understand what you're looking for in the first place.
And it's, if you the one thing I would memorize is the big O of each style, so you can sit there and say, okay, this is O of 1, this is O of n. But I don't remember how to write it. And I can tell you that if we were going to do X or Y, then we're going to want to go with an O of N. And you know what? That's what they're looking for. They're looking for whether or not you understand it, not whether or not you can write it off the top of your head.
Also understand what O of something means.
Yeah.
Because if you don't understand the scaling issues involved with certain algorithms, you're going to have trouble. I also feel a little weird when people are quoting Gang of Four patterns as their reason they're doing this. I kind of decide that we should step back from that and go, well, I need to have this be able to access this.
I agree. I agree with you there in principle, right? In terms of we do, but however, the point of those patterns, when you talk about like observer pattern, visitor pattern, whatever it is, it's because it gives you something to both say you're talking about the same thing without having to describe a common language, without having to describe the details of what it is. But details normally, like, you never go with a specific exact way of doing something. You're working it to fit the situation that you're coding in. So you know, but the premise is what you're trying to get out of that a lot of the time.
Right, exactly.
I know we're getting hung up on this. I've got 2 more points on it though, real quick. For one, as far as Gang of 4 goes, the patterns, really, if you're going to do Flutter, you want to make sure that you understand composite pattern, state pattern, observer pattern are the big 3. Simon, can you think of any others that you would want for Flutter?
Actually, is it flyweight pattern is another one that's actually used.
Factory.
Factories used everywhere. I mean, the thing is, to be honest, it just like the problem. I just gonna say, don't go reading the original Gang of 4 book. Right, the original Gang of 4 book, I actually have it. Is written in the language of the 1970s. Right,